couple years ago, Justin and I have a mutual friend. He's actually here this weekend. His name's Sun. And Sun's been in the CrossFit world for a long time. I competed with and against Sun over the years. And he said, hey, Adam, I have this guy that's a friend of mine that you should consider working with. And I said, oh man, thanks, Sun. Man, I'm out of that world right now. I'm not interested, but really appreciate it. Maybe a few months later, he said, hey, Adam, I think you should talk to this Justin kid. And I'm like, just not really interested right now. And then a third time, at some point, Sun was like, hey, at least just, give him a shout. And so I said, okay, cool.
You need to work with this kid. You need to work with this kid. Because I knew the potential he had just from being with him. And he just needed the right guidance. I knew Adam could give that to him. So I was pretty persistent because I knew it would work well.
I would say it wasn't like the most welcoming introduction. Hey, write me a letter of what you're looking for in a coach, who you are, what your values are, what your goals are, and what you want to achieve in this sport. If I was going to work with him, I knew that he was going to be a part of our family, and it was going to be a lot more than just a coach to athlete relationship. Like a couple days later, he sends me like a 3-page paper explaining who he is, how he got started in CrossFit, the values that he has, who he would be looking for as a coach, why he competes, all those things. And I read through that and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. To be honest, when he's not in school, he moved in with myself and my wife and my family, and he's part of the team. So we spend a lot of time together, whether it's in the gym, at home, cooking dinner, playing pig out in the driveway. I just feel super blessed to have the opportunity to have him come into our lives and to be able to share some of the experience that I've had as an athlete and a coach with him. None of us know where it's going to go. He's working really hard, and he's continually improving and exceeding both of our expectations. And like I said, I'm just excited to see what happens.
Yeah, so I'm Justin Medeiros. Since I was little, I've always been into sports. The two sports I kind of did mostly growing up was wrestling and football. I started wrestling in about 4th grade, and then I started football in 7th grade.
He's a very active kid. Loved to be outside. Loved to play any kind of sports.
Competitive.
Very competitive.
Doing those sports kind of helped me to where I am. When I was little, I've always been pretty athletic, but I was a pretty sore loser. I had 2 older sisters, so I didn't have any brothers to kind of beat me up and toughen me up.
Yeah, we were outnumbered at our house. It was 2 against 3.
I was not a fan of losing. If I lost, I kind of threw a little fit and temper tantrum about it.
When he was young, you couldn't play a board game with him. If he lost, he was in tears. He did not like losing, so somebody said put him in wrestling, and so we put him in wrestling. And
so joining wrestling really humbled me. My first year, I only won 1 match, and you had 100 matches. You just go and just lose and lose and lose, and it's different. I've played team sports, but when you go out there on the wrestling ring, it's just you out there, and if you lose, it's because you lost and that dude beat you. My mom and my sister started going to CrossFit, and they were saying oh yeah, we went in today, we did a 5-minute workout, and I'm like, you only worked out for 5 minutes? There's no way. I was wrestling with the high school team at that time, and those guys are talking about to go to the gym for 2 hours, and I'm like, there's no way this is some yoga stuff. So I was competitive though, so they brought me in, and I freaking loved it. So I started in my 7th grade summer. I think I was 12 or 13. CrossFit was really helping me inside the wrestling ring, and even on the football field. I was one of the strongest guys coming in as a freshman. My senior year in high school, I made regionals. I think I got 15th, and I was like, all right, next year, I can make this top 5. I'm gonna put in the work for it. Went, and then it got changed to the West Coast regional, which was a lot bigger regional, a lot more bigger athletes, and I'm this is a tough region. I don't know how it's gonna go. And I went and did that my freshman year in college. I got 14th place, so I got 1 place better, but it was a much harder regional, so I did awesome. So I was pretty pumped, and I was like, all right, next year, I got this, and then no more regionals. So I had Granite Games after that when the sanctional season came up. At Granite Games, I got destroyed by a sandbag workout, and I bombed it. I got 18th in that last event and dropped me out. So since then, me and Adam put in work on the sandbag. So we did probably 1,000 sandbags coming into the Filthy 150.
There's nothing flashy or glamorous. People, I think, often wonder what CrossFit Games athletes do, and Justin does CrossFit. He comes in each day hungry, excited to to get better at something. And that doesn't mean that every day is amazing. In all the lead up to the games that has happened, he's done an amazing job of just adapting to, whatever's in front of him at that time. And he's never been fitter than he is right now. He's 110% healthy. He feels good, and his mind is in a good spot. His family is here supporting him this weekend, and he's ready to perform. So, yeah, we're thankful for the opportunity. Fran has this certain stimulus, this certain feel that's almost out of body or otherworldly with the first time you do it. But as you improve in your fitness, the classic Fran loses its luster just a little bit, because when you do it in 2 minutes, you're kind of done before it gets really bad.
That combo's kind of always kicked me in the dirt.
Justin traditionally hasn't done super well in the open in thruster and pull-up events. He feels that, and going into the first event, he was very nervous.
But I know that we put in so much work on all those movements, so I know no matter what, I'm the most prepared I could be. So now it's just time to kind of go out there and sell out. It's a really quick workout. There's not much strategy to it.
He has worked on his thrusters and his pull-ups, that combination, a lot. Our goal was for him to do the thrusters unbroken. He did the first round smooth and fast.
If you set down that barbell, it's gonna take you a while to pick it back up, but if you drop it from a pull-up bar, you can kind of shake out, jump back up.
The second round got a little dicey. He had a couple pauses overhead, which was to be expected, nothing to be in a panic about. The third one was all about, you gotta pick up that bar quickly. You can't stand around, feeling sorry for yourself just because you're gonna go unbroken. Rep number 12 or 13 on the last round of 21. I saw a little glimmer of doubt in his mind. He paused overhead for a little longer than he had previously. And the Justin a year ago would have dropped that bar, 100%, no doubt in my mind. The Justin this morning, he just gritted his teeth and got it done.
I almost went into kipping pull-ups, chest to bar down, chest to bar down. I don't know how many sets I did. I've never gone down to 2 to 3 reps for sets.
Finished that. Could not have done any better.
Although he might be doing it in a gym in Vancouver, Washington, by himself, miles away from any other CrossFit Games athlete, there was no doubt in his mind that that was his best. At the end of the day, that's all you can ask for. And so it didn't matter if he knew what other people did or not, because he and I were very proud of that very first event. The very first event that you get to do at the CrossFit Games, you're never going to forget that. Kudos to the CrossFit Games team for putting that together. Getting the blood flowing a little bit and getting those legs to wake up again a little bit after doing Friendly Fran.
Oh yeah.
She was real friendly.
So friendly.
You just did your first CrossFit Games event. Did it feel like the CrossFit Games? What was that like?
It did. I remember doing my first set of chest to bars, and I was looking at it, I'm like, dude, it's the first workout. Let's go. Everyone got super loud, and I was like, well, this is what would make the games right now. That's that actual boost comes in. It's great. No way I'm dropping this bar right now.
Yeah. This is Coach Eric, the weightlifting coach.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So when Justin front squats 465 today, we can thank him.
It's different from adaptive bike training. It's kind of the effort to not give up. It's very strong.
How are your legs feeling?
Feeling so much better. My legs are actually the first thing to come back after the workout, but my arms were just so pumped. It's just that feeling of you think once you're done with the workout, everything starts coming back down, and it was just sitting there, everything was just there. I don't feel like sore or anything like that, but probably will tomorrow.
Justin's lifetime PR was 405 pounds on the front squat.
I mean, I lift 3 times a week with Coach Eric, so I was like, I know I'm like prepared for it. So I had no idea what I was gonna hit. I've only hit over 400 pounds once. That was 3 years ago. I was a freshman in college.
Hey, we'll be happy when you get 405. I had a lot of confidence that he could do it. I bet in competition he can do 415. And if he has a real good day, maybe he hits 425.
We started it at 365 was my first lift, which I knew like 365, 385, 395, kind of like those weights I would get for sure. And then once I got to 405 is where it would start getting tough. And we're like, all right, like 405, like let's do it. So I hit that pretty early on, probably like the 7-minute mark. And me and Adam were thinking I had like one more lift, maybe 2.
We decided to just stick with 10-pound jumps fit because with every passing lift, he gained more and more confidence. And he goes 426. And at this point, it's like everything's just a bonus. Like it's a party in here. I mean, everybody was just so fired up. Let's go. And so I just put the ball in his court at that time. I'm not gonna pretend I had it figured out. And he was like, let's go, right? That meant put on 10 more pounds. Neither one of us had any idea that he was gonna smash 437.
If I looked at the weekend and I had to think workouts that like I had the potential to get like top 5 in, that would not have been one of them.
I don't know the last time you set 4 PRs in one day, but it's not normal.
I was talking to Adam, like there's so many little things we did. Like I mean, my preparation added like a couple more pounds. Put on some knee sleeves, that added a couple more pounds. Like the crowd added a couple more pounds. Just the environment added a couple more pounds. I think all that like kind of like combined just bar feel light.
We talked about his biggest strength being his ability to rise to competition, to be a gamer, to get everything possible out of every event when the game is on the line. And I think he proved that's his biggest strength in that event right there. So that was special.
Yeah, definitely like an event that I will like never forget. Like that was awesome.
So exciting. That was so cool.
That was super cool.
Adam was doing his
Yeah.
that he did in Ireland when he was
My
smiling.
wife just said, I was watching him miss his final lift because I got pulled over.
That was good.
That was so...
I really just wanted over 405. That's all I wanted.
Well, you exceeded that.
I'm 91.
91.
I was 93 yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Lost some weight.
Why do
That
you
Fran
have to-
took 2 pounds out.
Why do you have to keep weighing yourself?
It's the tiebreaker.
Your
So
butt, what you lift
if
versus how much
if
you
someone
weigh.
lifts the same as me, then the lighter guy gets the win. So I'm happy.
Oh, I haven't seen him lift like that in a long time. That was way more exciting than I anticipated. He was pumped. I was very nervous for him. I was very nervous for him. Oh my gosh. He's an amazing kid.
And then another youngster, Justin Medeiros. Clears it out with Medeiros in 4th. So.
So you got 437.
He got third on the front squat.
But he beat Matt.
He's
fourth
overall.
Proud of him? You guys know this guy's been to the Olympics twice? Yeah.
Really?
Twice.
Oh.
He's like, that front squat, lightweight.
Yeah, bag of rice, man.
I thought it wasn't cooked, so I was like, what the heck is this?
It's delicious. That's about
Just
it.
rice.
Yeah, I know, huh? Got some protein. Made some broccoli beef last night.
You don't have containers? What happened to Tupperware?
So, well, I went to my parents' house last night to eat it, and they're at an Airbnb, and they had no Tupperware.
It was really good, so I was like, oh, I want that for tomorrow. I don't want all the water, all the juice.
Don't? That's the best stuff.
Just dump it. Just go for it. It's gonna be all juice at
No,
first.
it's not.
You are terrible at this.
Here. No, I'll just go like this and now scoop. Wow, teamwork.
Makes the dream work.
Once he got into junior high and started playing sports, football and wrestling, and started taking it serious, he's a very clean eater. He does not eat fast food. He hasn't eaten fast food since he's junior high, probably. No sodas. He doesn't drink soda. And
Doesn't drink beer, and he's 21 in college.
You look at it, and there's no evidence that like drinking alcohol is going to boost your performance. If I do this, it will negatively affect my performance. And that was kind of like the mindset I had when I was young, was just like, oh, I'm like in wrestling season, like can't drink. And then, well, now it's CrossFit season, so can't drink now, like kind of thing.
He's really innocent, but extremely mature for a 21-year-old. The discipline and work he puts in, you don't see people do that, especially at his age.
He's
You know, when his
definitely-
roommates are drinking, hanging out, he's in bed at 9 o'clock to get ready for his morning session. So
That takes a lot when you're a college kid.
Yeah.
Really.
yeah.
My joy doesn't need to come from like an outside place, and I think I can just have like a good time, and I don't just need that. And with the eating thing, I mean, definitely like I have a bowl of cereal every night, so that's kind of like my bad food that I eat. I haven't had fast food in like, I was in 6th grade, probably the last time I had it. I haven't been like to those like Taco Bell, Burger King, In-N-Out. Like me and my family, like we've hunted and like grown up. My dad always barbecues and he would cook burgers, and I'm like, there's no way In-N-Out is gonna taste better than my dad's home-cooked hamburger, like elk burger or whatever we ate, like deer or whatever it was. I'm like, it just can't taste better than this.
Before you meet him, you might think, oh, he's this serious, super laser-focused guy. When he turns his head and you start to see the back, you realize that he's here to have a good time.
Oh, look at that, beautiful.
Look at that flowing.
Look at that flow in the wind.
I'm pretty sure he would have not had the mullet still if it wasn't for Adam just loving them.
I've never met Adam. So I drove here, parked, like, and I was like, dude, like, I still have a mullet. First impressions are big. I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. So then I get out and he's like looking at me and he's like, is that a mullet? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, dude, I love it. He's like, I used to have a mullet. And I was like, what?
You're gonna love this kid. He's got a mullet. He's like pretty much my son.
But yeah, he just started doing it one day, and we're like, whatever, man. Yeah, it's cool, dude.
You look great.
He took me back to his house. I never met like his wife or his kids or anything. She walks up, oh my gosh, like, hi, like, you have a mullet? She's like, I loved Adam's mullet. Like, she's like, I can't believe he cut it. I've been telling him to grow it back out. And I'm like, what are the odds I'm like put into these two people and they love it?
He told Adam that if he makes it to the games, then he'd have to get a mullet as well.
It works out good for CrossFit, man. I mean, there's like, I can't get hair in my eyes. It's short along the sides. I mean, when I'm running, I mean, it just freaking propels me forward.
And now it's famous.
Now it's legend.
I'm rocking with it now. I mean, it's here to stay.
You know, Justin was a little nervous for that one, knowing the fact that like he wasn't like, I'm the best handstand push-up guy in the field, and I think I'm gonna win this workout.
Yeah, my goal in that one is just try to keep those deadlifts unbroken. That's kind of my thing, and try to do like short, smaller sets through the handstand push-up. But just as long as I kind of don't hit that breaking point and that failure.
And then at the first sign of them starting to get kind of slow and grinding, to drop down and then take a short break and kick right back up. The wheel starts to come off, so the goal is to delay that as long as possible. Started doing singles when he got to 10, but then the last 2 he was able to connect together, and I was really pumped because his last handstand push-up took like 5 seconds, and it was like, not sure if he's gonna get it or not get it, and he ended up like locking it out, and I think that's right where you want to be at the end of that workout. He has put in a lot of work on handstand push-ups, and I think he executed it really well. So when we finished, we were like, sweet. I was really proud of his effort and his execution.
The 1K row. Rowing's not his favorite movement, but I think he's gonna surprise himself, and with the energy that the crowd just showed, it's gonna be a good time.
So excited to see him suffer.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that 1K row. Man, I've been thinking about that workout since it came out. I'm like, oh, that's gonna be rough. There's so little room to like make up time on someone. Everybody's gonna be within milliseconds. So like every little millisecond counts. I know I put in more time on the rower than anybody else. Doesn't mean I'm the best rower out there, but like I said, I feel like I'm the most prepared for it.
Our goal today is sub 3 minutes. That's the goal. That's the goal. When he started kind of that sprint start, he wasn't hitting the pace that he did in practice. You know, his gas tank wasn't quite full. He'd just done 3 events previous that day, so the pacing that we had planned on was just a second or maybe 2 below what he had practiced.
So think about it as it's just 700 meters. I'm gonna try to stay below a 130 till that 300 meter like left. That's when I'm gonna like start my kick, and that kick is just gonna mean try not to let it go any slower. Cool, I know that's gonna be a tough workout. I mean, I knew I was messed up after the Fran workout, but that workout's gonna be no other.
Christina was over there with a little flip chart. 900 left, 800, 700, 600, 500, 400, 300. You know, once that 250 meter mark hit and this whole place just kind of like set on fire, he just put his head down and gritted his teeth and got after it. One of the things we were most proud of is his effort, his resilience on that row. It's been something that he's considered a weakness. It's been something that's challenged him a lot. It didn't feel great when he started it, and then in those middle meters, he was hurting. You know, when he had kind of that opportunity to rise to the occasion or, you know, roll over a little bit, he definitely stepped up and finished super strong. So it's kind of cool doing the online version of the games, because at the end, you don't have to look around and see how everybody else did. You just get to have confidence in your own performance. And so on that row especially, you know, after he was on the ground for a couple minutes, he knew, I knew, everybody else in here knew he did great, right? So no matter where anybody else finished, it was an awesome event. You know, he was sitting in 6th at the end of day 1, didn't really have any bearing on how we approached today. And then just kind of put it on the back burner and got focused on the plan for each event today. There's a little bit unknown leading up to this event. 10 or 12 days ago, here in Oregon and Washington, we had like some of the worst wildfires that we've ever seen in the history of the state, especially in such a short period of time. Honestly, most of the CrossFit gyms in the area shut down just because the air quality was like hazardous. So we haven't done any running outside. We've just been doing training inside. Yesterday, we had a bunch of rainstorms that passed through, and that was awesome because it helped clear out the smoke, but it was a little bit of an unknown because this morning there was a chance of rain and just kind of showers moving in and out. So we were super fortunate in that, you know, it turned out to be a beautiful morning. We didn't have any rain to deal with. We brought some mats out to the track, and then we brought some like a pop-up tent just to have that in case. It worked out really well. Then once the event started, Justin was just a technician. What we talked about going into this workout is basically we want to keep those overhead squats and the burpees smooth and quick, but obviously not frantic. And then run as fast as you can without significant slowing of the overhead squats or the burpees. Then we would adjust the run pace, kind of use the run as the throttle, and then, you know, based on how the other movements are going, either push down on that throttle a little bit more or ease up a little bit. He didn't waver from the plan. He didn't break up any of the overhead squats. So it meant that he needed to put the hammer down on the run.
Good. I was happy with how I did. Those last overhead squats were a lot harder than I thought. They were good.
You and Unbroken though, that's awesome.
Yeah, that run was just so hard to like just keep moving.
He's got just the biggest heart. It really showed this year when he was tested, and I'm not talking about in terms of competition, but in January when his dad got hurt, he was the first person to put his own needs on the back burner and focus on his family. You know, he took that last semester off of school last year to be home, to be there to help his family out, to be there to, you know, do the household chores and those things that were just a more important need than his fitness at the time. I don't know if he talked about this, or not a lot of people maybe know this, but 2 weeks ago when we were doing the competition run through, he lost his grandfather, who he's super close to. And that's been really, really challenging because, you know, Justin didn't get to be there with his grandpa at the end, but he has this love for his family and friends that goes a lot deeper than most people I've ever met. And, you know, this whole weekend, he thought a lot about his grandpa and his grandpa looking down on him from above, and you know, in a lot of ways, a lot of what he did was to honor his grandpa and to glorify God. That's just who Justin is, and it doesn't matter if he's on the podium at the CrossFit Games or last place. It doesn't change who he is at his core, and that's what I love about him.
I don't want to let them down. Like they've been like so supportive and had faith in me. So like, I got to make it worth it for them. I'm here for like a reason, and I'm not going to be here like slacking off. I know I'm putting in a lot of work, but like Adam's got to put in work for my program. My family's got to spend time away from me. Like and like when I'm home, my mom's making me food and all this stuff. And like, I just want to make sure like when I'm doing, like I want to do my part of it. And my part is staying focused, like putting in like, when I'm here to train, like I'm here to train. Like I spent time away from like my family. Like my dad went through a hard fall, and then I left, and my grandpa's been really sick, and I was here, and it was really hard not being home, like with my family through that. But I know that they like supported me and they wanted me here. I flew home 2 or 3 times like during that time span, just making sure I'm giving it like my 100%. And I just believe if you're gonna do something, like why not go 100%?
Oh yeah, the max handstand hold. Event 6 was a great test of balance. You take it all the way back to the basics, is just hold it for as long as you can. And it's amazing how foreign that felt.
Just handstand hold, I was like, well, I'm curious how this is gonna go.
We knew that when you got to about a minute, that's where it started to get challenging for him. So we really planned for like 3 attempts over the course of 20 minutes.
It was just like a weird event.
All right, do an attempt, stand around for 4 or 5 minutes, try it again, that type of thing. In practice, Justin had always said, hey, my first attempt is usually my best.
My best hold was always my first try, and like without a warm up, anything, so.
And then right away he kicked back up and he went for 1:14, which turns out was his best finish. He had a couple more attempts. I think he got to 1:13 one more time.
So if you get like a good attempt in, like your shoulders get like pretty fatigued out. And I was like, all right, if I get too nervous for this event, I'm gonna do bad. Like if I overthink it, like there's just no point in like getting like all anxious about it. So I was like, I'm just gonna kick up and just kind of see what happens.
It was one of those things where we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know if that was good or bad. We just knew that was as long as he could hold for in that 20-minute block of time, so.
I kind of finished and I was just like, man, I don't know how that's gonna hold up.
All right, cool. Let's get ready for the next one.
Olsen solidly in second, is the only man other than Fraser above 400 points. Then Justin Medeiros, the youngest guy who is really impressive at 5150. He sits in third. Daniel Watt goes from 12th to 4th. And he's going to probably win the final event.
One more. Sometimes he doesn't necessarily feel like he belongs when you start talking about the heavy hitters in our sport, the Matt Frasers, the Noah Olsons, the Pat Vellners, the Brent Fikowskis, BKG, all those guys that have been around for a long time.
He needs to know he can hang with these guys and beat these guys because we know he can.
Yeah, he's so good at CrossFit. He's hammering a lot of his weaknesses, like an insane amount.
He doesn't know how good he can be. He doesn't know how good he is now. And so once he realizes that, it gets some like confidence about him. I told him he needs to be kind of a sometimes and just like, you know,
the amount of progress that he's seen on them has been huge.
Act like he's as good as he is.
Yeah, because he doesn't know.
He's too humble sometimes.
Live competition is where he thrives. Top 5, he can do it.
He's as prepared as possible. To me, I feel like there's no other athlete that has done the movements that we've seen more than he has in the last couple months.
He's there.
I don't see why he can't dominate in the sport for the next few years.
He might not have been at the CrossFit Games 5, 6, 7, 8 times. He might not have been on the podium multiple times, but he's just getting started, and he's getting better every day.
Like, we're just gonna outwork these people. Never not been the best at it, but I'm gonna outwork you. If this workout came up with my training, like, I'd be so pumped for it.
And then when it was announced that they were gonna be using a different rope, I think his excitement just went up. He was pumped about it. He wasn't like, oh man, I wasn't ready for that. He was excited about it.
It was hard not to look at the leaderboard all weekend, but like I kind of knew where I was sitting, and I knew like this last event, if I didn't like bomb it, I could get top 5.
He went into event 7 the mindset of, hey, I'm gonna go out there at 3, 2, 1, go. I'm gonna give it everything I have.
No matter what, I got to finish this workout knowing that like I couldn't have done any better. And if I start thinking about like top 5 or winning or failing, I'm like, it's not gonna help me. So I kind of try to block that out, just focus on like, this is the workout.
It's the last event of the weekend. It's the CrossFit Games. All my friends and family are here just rallying. Once 3, 2, 1, go happened, he was in attack mode. There really wasn't a time in that last event where he was pacing things or where he let off the gas pedal. Just the nature of the workout with that descending rep scheme allowed him to really thrive and to really be bold in his pacing, and just like attacking that thing. It was a great environment in here. It was just it was a blast. We wanted to limit spectators to be responsible, but we also wanted to, give the community a chance to be a part of, history where, hosting the CrossFit Games within our gym was, something we've never got to do before and probably won't again. So
I went hard as I could, like executed it well, and I knew I couldn't have done any better. And just knowing that like I did that after every workout, I was like, I'm not going to be mad whatever the leaderboard says after that event. So
He was a popular kind of dark horse pick for a rookie lightweight at the Games, Justin Medeiros.
Remember your team when you hustle up. Don't make a move till you huddle up. I'm coming up, is up. Looking for trouble to knuckle up. I see through all of your cover-ups. You think that you gonna set me up? Good luck.
I'm nowhere near where I could be.
We're gonna stay the course. Every day, every workout, every session, every rep matters. He can go in with confidence knowing that he'll be as prepared as he can possibly be. Yeah, he's ready.
We can take this outside, outside. Hey. Looking at the stars, staring with my mouth wide. Yeah. I ain't letting nobody stop me this time. Nah. Every single level that I reach and I climb. They ask, are you from outside, outside? Everything around me I create with my mind. Working too hard, I don't want no downtime. Nah. With my team on, they gon' shine, I'll shine. Yeah, we can take this. You are just not on my level.
You want to come in? Come on in.
No, I'm trying to find a pop-up tent
Oh.
for the track tomorrow.
Did you ask Kelly? Yeah. My God. That's what I got to deal with on a daily basis.
Wait, we didn't get makeup done for this.
Or my hair. Is someone coming? We need to touch up.